Hey guys. Thought I'd start out right away with Dexy. Can you say hi? Can you can you say hi? Your face is all messed up. Dexy says hi. He's been trying to get downstairs now, so. Ugh. How's everyone? How's everyone doing? Hi guys. Right, Murph? I know. He always looks grumpy, Heather. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. I got a new camera, and it's now not the one on my computer, which is nice, but it's a wide angle lens. So now I have to make sure my room is clean at all times, which is probably good anyways. But we are going to have the lovely Sleuth Mom with us today. So I'm going to bring her on up. And hey.
Hi, Mallory. How's it going?
It's going. You guys know that I love Sleuth Mom. And I was kind of excited that the court cases she was covering today ended early, so she was able to come up with me because I'm so excited to hear your thoughts. We were kind of talking before we went live regarding Athena's case. But there's just so much to it that it's hard to even fathom kind of how we got to this point in her case. So, yeah. But we can say hi to some people. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Yeah, no, I am mind blown, honestly, with the Athena stuff. I really am.
Yeah.
But hi, Heather Brat.
Hi, Heather Brat. Hey, Linda H. You know, Linda, are you the one that was in the other chat that we were talking to regarding your daughter working at Target? Because I was there the other day, and I swear I saw every young person, and I almost was like, oh my gosh, what's your mom's name? But then I was like, oh, there's probably a lot of people that work at Target. Hey, True Crime Beat. Hey, Leo. Hey, Rainbow Mom. Hey, Pamela, Minnesota. Hey, Lucia. Hey, Pointer Lover. How's everyone doing? Oh, thank you, Jenna. Hey, Snazzy Trinkets. Good to see you. All right. So, are you guys ready? I think we're going to talk about Athena's case first, just because, hey, Crime Sleuthin'. Just because there's not as much information new other than the big bombshells of everything. But hey, my three sons, how are you? So, let me do a poll in chat. Do you know the Athena Brownfield case? Yes or no? So I'm going to throw that in there. You guys go ahead and vote in the poll. Don't get in trouble, Pamela. Welcome in, everyone.
I love polls.
I know.
Polls are the best.
I know. I love them too. I just don't like that you can't do them on StreamYard. You have to have the separate chat open. Hey,
right. Pop out.
Yeah. It's annoying. Hi, Merp. How are you feeling? Okay. I am going to go over it so that way if it does get a little too crazy into everything. Oh, Pointer Lover, that's the whole point of contention, is the autopsy results. So the reason we're bringing this up is I'm going to bring this up, and please, Sleuth Mom, if you want to jump in, please do at any point. Let me grab.
You know it, Ringo. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think that's why we're friends, though, Ringo. Me and Sleuth Mom. The polls.
It might be it. It might be.
All right. So, if you guys remember, of course, it has the continue here. But Athena Brownfield. So this was back from the beginning of this year. So I'm going to kind of read through this article. This is an article that came out when everything was kind of happening. I'm going to get you guys to kind of where we're at now that the autopsy results have now come out. And then kind of go from there and see, because I wanted to pick Sleuth Mom's brain about this, but I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts too. So let us see. It says, let me make sure I'm sharing it first. All right. Police searching for missing child Athena Brownfield say their investigation has now become a recovery operation to find her body. Detectives believe the 4-year-old was beaten to death on Christmas Day by her caregiver, according to court documents that were released on Tuesday and obtained by 13 News. The little girl was first reported missing exactly a week ago after her 5-year-old sister, Adina, was found wandering alone in the street by a postal worker last Tuesday near the small town of Cyril, Oklahoma. Heartbreakingly, the child said that she was hungry and had lost her sister. So, does this kind of ring any bells for anyone yet? I know I covered it on other channels. So this was one that when I saw it, I think it was actually Teresa from Criminality, posted it on her Facebook group. But let us see.
This one was like shocking because it happened while I was on vacation originally. And just the thought of this postal worker walking upon this child that was just wandering the streets. Her sister's only 5 years old. So picture a 5-year-old just out in the middle of January wandering around and crying. She was hungry. That's why she was out wandering around.
Well, and then not only that, but you assume that, like, if you do find a kid wandering and they're like, well, this is my home, and you bring them home and then there's no one there. Like, you think that you're going to go back to the house and the parents be freaking out and looking for them and they just got out, because kids are fast. Toddlers are fast. But I think more along the lines of the postal worker then brought her back to the house and, hey, Allie. Hi, Hope. Hi, Ecto. Welcome in. Like, and no one was there. So I think that was one of the big things too, that she was like, not only does this person say, hi, PB&J, hey, Punksy, hey, Ava, say that she's hungry. She's saying she lost her sister. So there was so much to it in that short little time that we're like, where is everyone? How do you leave a 5-year-old? And then she said her younger sister. So at that point we were like, okay, she has a younger sister. And so on. So it says officers arrested 31-year-old Alyssa Adams and her husband, Ivan Adams, who had been caring for the little girls on suspicion of child neglect on Thursday. You guys see here's the picture of Athena. So this is the one that was missing, not her sister. Her sister's name is Adina. Her name is Athena. I believe they were 4 and 5. Is that right, Sleuth Mom?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then that's Alyssa Adams. So I know, like, on her social media, because I had gone through her entire Instagram when this all first happened, because it was not private yet. But she went by Allie, A-L-Y, on Instagram. But I've heard that it's pronounced Alyssa, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so that's her. She got arrested for neglect. There was a lot of back and forth, though, when this all first happened, because she was supposedly away with her new boyfriend, and Ivan was supposed to be in charge of the kids, and it was like the 2 girls, Adina and Athena, and then they had, 4 other kids? Hi, Kim. I think. And he supposedly left, and he was claiming that he left them with her, and she was claiming that she left all of the kids with him. And it was just kind of like a back and forth of like, why was someone ever leaving this girl alone, regardless of who was supposed to be in charge? And that was always something that was difficult for me to understand, but I think that's normal if you care about children, is to go back and say, well, what the hell are you thinking? When would that ever be okay?
Right. And I don't know what their end goal was. So they left
Right.
these kids home alone, or left her home alone, the sister, Were they expecting them to survive that time period? Were they expecting them to never get out of the house, never be found? Like, I don't know what their end goal in any of it was. It would have eventually been found out, you would think.
Well, right. Would they think that they would just leave her there and they would potentially like die in the house and then like and that's one thing and we find out later on that they didn't even leave both of them together. They only left Adina because supposedly Athena had already died weeks before. So then it's like why are you leaving one 5-year-old girl alone? That's the part that I don't understand. Okay,
Right,
so
me either.
yeah. It says it has now emerged that police allege Ivan Adams beat the child to death at the home on December 25th, with Alyssa Adams reporting allegedly he left the house with the girl's body in the early hours of December 26th to bury her near the old home in Rush Springs. Hey, Red Eye. Hey, Delana. Hey, East Texas chick. So, this was the other thing. So, when all this was happening, I saw that. I saw that snazzy trinkets. Hang on, I have to come back over here to be able to bring anything up. All right. Snazzy Trinket said, Mallory, judge just ruled that Rex must submit DNA to the DA. Yes. So if you guys aren't following the Gilgo Beach murder case or the Long Island serial killer, Rex was trying to fight giving his DNA to the prosecutors and such. And it sounds like the judge finally ruled that he must submit his DNA. So that is a win. Win, win, win. All right. Okay, so back to Athena's case. So Adina's found walking by the mail carrier on January 10th. Her body is found January 17th, I think. And we find out after the fact that she had actually been dead since Christmas Day at night. So apparently Ivan, who was the husband of they were both caretakers, but the husband had potentially beat her to death and then buried her body at their old residence or on the land of their own residence. ABC, welcome in. Hi, Thistle. I hope you're having fun. Yeah, Christmas. So it would have been the night of Christmas Day. So going into the 26th. Hey, Nora's grandma. So
Right,
it
and it
says,
was always that he had beat her to death, and so that's where, the
yeah,
first-degree murder charges and all of the things are coming in because he beat her to death, and then
right,
now we see the autopsy results.
right. So it says he now faces 1 count of first-degree murder and 1 count of child neglect, while his wife is facing 2 counts of child neglect. Bereaved sister Adina has been taken into protective custody. So, and that's the thing too, is that at this point, they find her body on the 17th, I believe. And hey, Cray Cray, it's just crazy. And it's come out that her biological parents had just given them to Alyssa and Ivan. She did end up getting charged. The birth mom did with neglect as well. No, pointer lover. So that's actually what we are going to get into. So let me grab this one. And share this tab instead. All right, so prepare to, I was going to say have your mind blown, but it's more of like a prepare to be mind effed in a way.
Right.
So I don't know. Hey, Candace. Hi, Dad.
Yeah, everybody's asking. Alyssa was the aunt, and it was the aunt and the aunt's husband. Her mom, like Mallory just said, was charged with neglect eventually, but she left the children with the aunt and her husband.
If you guys see in chat, Jambalaya is my dad. So just to let you know. Hey, Jordan. All right. Hey, in the Dax. So we have the official autopsy report on 4-year-old Athena Brownfield reveals new details. So once again, we have the cutest little picture of her. And we're going to get into everything. So the state medical examiner's office has released their official findings on the death of Athena. New details in the report include how Brownfield was found buried in a shallow grave inside of a backpack. The girl and backpack together weighed 25 pounds, according to the report. So, I believe that they have stated too that her body alone was only 23 pounds. So, um,
Just tiny.
she,
That's
yeah.
tiny for a 4-year-old.
Well,
I
and not,
mean,
I think they said based on it, no, like a average 4-year-old, which there's no average 4-year-old, but like the average is like 39 pounds or something. So she
mhm.
was almost 20 pounds underweight.
So to put this a little bit into perspective, Junior is only at 8% on the measurement scale for her weight, and she
Mhm.
is 36 pounds. So that means she's only heavier than 8% of the people her age, and she's 37 inches tall and she's 36 pounds. And so Athena was 3 inches taller than her, but only weighed 23 pounds. Like that's tiny.
Yeah. It's that was a little shocking, and I think it's hard if you don't have young kids to be able to put it into perspective as well. Well, and I think it's harder for me too because when I think of my best friend Abby and her boys, they're all tanks. They're huge. And so for me, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure that Bo weighs close to that, and he just turned 3 months today. So I'm like, oh, not really that much, but I mean, getting there, very close to that, and that's crazy, right, Heather? Heather said, I feel like my son came out at 23 pounds. Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is now you go back to thinking exactly, Leo, totally underweight, malnutrition. All right, so now we're going to get to the point that really threw me for a loop. The report also said Brownfield died as a result of acute pneumonia complicating malnutrition, but the manner of death is still listed as homicide. So, um, yeah, it's she supposedly died of acute pneumonia and malnutrition. So it's going to cause a lot of questions because one of these caretakers who was arrested admitted that the other one beat her to death. And now it's coming out that she did not die of a beating. She died as a result of acute pneumonia and complicating malnutrition. So what do you guys think about that?
I'm honestly, I want to know more about her. I want to know, was there signs of abuse, because I believe they say in this article that there wasn't. There was no bruises or anything like that to indicated that there was still abuse. I mean, did she literally just die because they
Right.
never got her medical attention? Because that completely
Right.
contradicts the story that the aunt had said.
Well, right. Yeah. And it's still neglect, right? But right now he's being charged. Ivan is being charged with first-degree murder. So if it's literally saying that her result, her death was a result of pneumonia, that's not a result of a beating. So there's gonna have to be some type of like what? How did you say it, Sleuth Mom? Moderation of the charges.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I have a feeling that they're gonna have uh, to reduce the charges. I think they're gonna have to. I mean, if there is no proof that he physically harmed her and it was just negligent homicide, I still think homicide because of not getting her medical care and things like that. But if there was no abuse, if there
Mhm.
was no final strike that they can prove to be to make this a murder, I mean, will they still be able to charge him with first-degree murder? I think me, if I was sitting on a jury pool and they
Mhm.
showed me these autopsy results saying pneumonia, malnutrition, and he's not her dad, he's not her actual primary caregiver
Right.
legally, how can I sit there and say, "Well, he first-degree murdered her?" I'm
Well,
wondering
right.
if, honestly, mom's charges are gonna go up because, she would have been complicit in this by leaving them there.
Well, right. But then even like what Heather Bratt said, I want to know how they charged Alyssa and Ivan with beating her to death. Right. Because they literally stated, we now know that she was beaten to death by Ivan on this day. You know what I mean? Yeah, and she,
Right.
like I said, it's one of those things where no matter what, they're gonna get charged because if she died, even if it was of pneumonia and malnutrition, they'll be charged for that. Whether it be second degree or manslaughter or something along those lines. Um, but
It's a big difference between first-degree
mhm,
murder, though. I mean,
right,
you're looking at a potential life sentence versus 10 to 20 years. It's a big
right,
difference. It's a huge
right.
jump.
And I think it's
And
gonna
then
make a huge difference too between the two of them because if Ivan was not the one that specifically did this, like say he was not their full-time caretaker or something like that, then it's going to be on Alyssa, not him. And then it's going to be a fight between he said she said.
right. Well, and here's the thing too, they could have had her in the room saying, "Hey, we know one of you guys killed her. What happened? What happened?" And she knew that her remains were moved and buried. They're gonna get that charge still. Oh gosh, what do they call that whenever they move the remains? I can't e
uh it's like
I don't know why
I
that's,
want to
like,
say
skipping
I
my mind.
always want to say desecration of a body, but that's like cutting it up, I think. So not
Yeah.
that one.
So
Movement
either
of the
way, they're
body.
gonna have that the corpse charge that they always have for every single one where they hide the body. Um, so they'll have that, and then however she died.
Right.
But I
Tampering.
so they could have had her in this room interrogating her, and she could have been like, "Hey, Ivan did it. It happened this day, blah, blah, blah. Here's where her remain" abuse of a corpse. Thank you so much, Pointer Lover. Um, but and then she threw him under the bus trying to get less or no charges for herself. I really think that that could be what happened.
Right. And I think too, we also have to take into account because as soon as he was arrested, because he was arrested in Arizona, correct? And then they extradited him back to Oklahoma. So, and he said that he wanted to waive his extradition because he wanted to get up here and fight these charges as fast as he could. Now it makes me wonder if, oh, thank you, Cray Cray. It makes me wonder if the reasoning behind him wanting to get up here was because he knew that he did not beat her to death. If he knew that that was not going to be coming back in the autopsy to be able to come back and fight that,
Right.
which is so
I mean, there's
crazy.
very good chance that they found her deceased. They
Mhm.
panicked, put her in a backpack, and went and buried her remains, probably
Right.
together, and that Alyssa was trying to get off and not have anything to do with this and threw him under a bus.
We're right. But then that kind of
Doesn't
goes
mean
into
that she wasn't neglected. It doesn't mean that she
yeah.
was taken care of. I do think, that weight, she was obviously sick for a while,
Mhm.
obviously malnourished.
Yeah.
Um, but it's still very different than beating a child to death.
Mhm. Well, and that kind of goes into Crime Sleuthen's question. So she said, malicious intent, I have a question. Alyssa knew too much and exactly where she was buried. Why would he tell her that much? I think she had a hand in it, but first to talk to get the deal. Right. And that's kind of where everything is. It is the first person to talk gets a deal, but then it's going to come back and bite her in the ass when the information that she gave for this deal was not accurate. Because that's a lot of times part of a deal is you give us accurate information that can put the other person away, and then you can get this deal. High criminality, high T. Um, so I agree though, because she did. She said she told them where to look for the body. So you think, Sleuth Mom, that she potentially did help him in some way? Is
Oh,
that
for
correct?
sure. Absolutely. I think that it was probably the both of them deciding where for her remains to go. I mean, look at in, in comparison, look at the Harmony Montgomery case. Kayla
Mhm.
was able to tell us every point that Harmony's body was at first. She's not able to tell us Harmony's final resting place
Right.
because Adam knew that that would be the nail in his coffin if Kayla was ever going to turn on him.
Right.
I think that both of these people knew the location of Athena because they were both involved with putting her there.
Yeah. Julie Dunn, yes. Yep. This is the case where Athena and Adina were left at home. Um, well, that was the original story. And then Adina walked out to the mail carrier and said, "I'm hungry and I lost my sister." And we actually find out supposedly that Ivan had beat her to death and everything back on Christmas Day ish, night of Christmas Day into the 26th. And now it's coming out that she actually had died of pneumonia and malnutrition. So that's kind of the whole point of what we're going over is just how did they get it so wrong? Is it literally just Alyssa lying that's causing them to get it so wrong?
Mhm. I like what criminality said too. That's a possibility as well. Maybe Ivan wasn't involved in this at all. Maybe he really did just up and leave and stuff, and she was still alive and well and everything. I mean, Alyssa was able to tell us the exact branch that she was buried under. Like, how do you
Right,
know that information?
right. Huh. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Let me just see if we'll read through this a little bit more. So it says, but the manner of death still listed as homicide. So I would assume that that's having to do with the fact that the malnutrition is what caused her death to a certain extent. The report stated Brownfield was less than third percentile in weight for stature and age. Medical examiner listed Brownfield's height at 36 inches and weight at 23 pounds. The average weight for her age is height 35 pounds, 39 inches. Um, right, T. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. Well, and that's the thing, Jordan, is that was the story we were told. So now it's like, at what point do we even know? I wonder if that's a good point that you bring up. I wonder if we know via the new reports if she actually died on Christmas. Because if she claims that's when it happened, but really it was her in some way, allegedly, is there a way that this happened at a later time than what we're assuming? And not necessarily then.
I think they're gonna know. I mean, it would all depend on how deteriorated her remains are. 23
Right.
days versus, potentially what, a 7 to 10-day period is a
Right.
big difference.
Or before, that's right.
Or before, right, Jordan?
Well, and I wonder too, though, because technically, if she would have died on the 25th to the 26th, it's always made me feel off that Adina said, "I lost my sister. Can you help me find her?" Like, it made it seem so crazy to me that she had literally been gone for almost a full month and she was still saying that. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been the first thing to come to her mind. So I've always, at that point, before I'd learned a lot more, questioned the time frame of things, just because although she's 5, if she had stopped asking questions and such, then like she would have just stopped asking questions. Like,
Right.
why a whole month later is she still like, "I lost my sister," you know?
I mean, I don't know though, because at 5, I mean, you're very aware of
Mhm.
all kinds of things, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
and that being left in a traumatizing, alone situation, her sister was probably her only comfort
right,
in that house. And so it would make sense to still be looking for her. I mean,
right.
I'm gonna bring up Harmony again, but look, uh, Jameson asking for her constantly for an entire
Yeah.
year after he was adopted. Um, Oakley Carlson, her
I was just
sister.
gonna bring that up, bringing up the wolves.
Mhm. And that allegedly happened. Now we're finding out that Oakley was the one who started the fire,
Right.
and that's the last day that she was seen then. So, I mean, and it was February, I wanna say, whenever she was
Mhm.
reported missing.
Right.
So, I mean, it can happen months later sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I guess we don't know verbatim what she actually said to the mail carrier. It was just along those lines. So it could have been something more of a, can you help me find my sister? You know what I mean? Hi,
Right.
Abby. Hi, Colton. Hi, Everett. Hi, Bo. Even though you don't know what I'm saying. But I was just talking about how your boys were nice and big, Abby. All right. It goes into what had happened, and that's about it for that one. So that is the main changes and aspects and updates when it comes to um Athena's case. And like I said, it was Teresa from Criminality that she had posted it in her Criminality Facebook group. um, but that's where I saw it. So, um, yes, yes, we know you do. Well, I do. I know you do. I use the verbiage a tank. So, all right. So let us get into the Rachel Morin case. So I'm going to end this poll and start up another poll. How many of you guys are aware of the Rachel Morin case? This case is recent as of Sunday, Saturday to Sunday. And you're okay, hippie chick. Welcome in. Yeah, that's true, Cray Cray. That's true.
This one I'm not as familiar with. I do know a little bit about it. I
Mhm.
also looked into it a little bit after you told me we were gonna be talking about it.
Right.
But this is not something that I'm, like, super up on.
Right. So I actually covered this case Monday midday, kind of right as it was breaking. I want to say it was right when her body was found on Monday is when I was live and I brought it up and we were looking at it and we went on Google Earth and we were looking up kind of where her car was parked. And hey Wendy, welcome in.
It
We
was a
looked
really
up.
good stream. I was here for that. I just
Oh,
mean, like,
thank you.
besides any new details, yeah, I'm out of it,
So
yeah.
this is one of those cases where there's not a ton of new details, but it's just interesting everything that's kind of coming out. There's obviously uh like information, new articles and new interviews and stuff like that. I know we've had a lot of issues with her boyfriend. Everyone obviously pointing the finger and yeah. Yeah, crime sleuthin'. I know. So like I said, I covered it. So if you guys didn't know, Rachel was, let me grab the article so that way we can go over it. I got to figure out which one we wanted to go to first. All right. We'll do this one first. All right. So Rachel went for a hike on the Monpaw Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. Saturday night. Her boyfriend claims that he had dropped her off around, was it 6:30? Um, but uh then somehow by like 7 or so he's trying to figure out where the heck what happened, and then says that she is missing at 11 p.m. on Saturday night. And then is it Sunday? or Monday, her body is found in the same park on the trail, found in like a, they said it's the difference between a cave slash tunnel, but like everything else, it's just, there's a lot to it. So this is Rachel. She is a mom of 5 the following day. So yes, he did drop her off, but I've heard lots of different things. So I've heard that, I was watching Alex Erickson's stream right before this, that he was actually potentially seen at an AA meeting that night, after the time frame of when he would have dropped her off. And so I've also seen that there's a potential for he was maybe with her kids that night. So like he was the one watching the kids after the fact. Like after he dropped her off, after he went to his meeting, that he had gone to her house and was watching the kids until she got home. And that's kind of how everything escalated. But like I said, it's all a lot of rumor, speculation. I will say the internet is doing a number on her boyfriend. He does have a history with DV, and such. I personally, don't really think it was him. I've looked over a handful of his things. Ellie, I think, Linda H.
It seems very split. Like I looking through
Yeah.
Facebook, it seems very split. People
Mhm.
are either jumping very, very hard towards him as the suspect, and then other people are looking at past relationships, and other people that she had encountered in her life.
Right.
So it is split. I did put a link in the back chat of the police put out an update an hour ago.
Yeah, I saw.
So I didn't know if you've seen that. Okay.
I have, but I didn't bring it up yet. I was gonna like make a separate Facebook so that I wasn't having to do anything like on my personal one, but I
That
can
makes sense.
probably
I
bring it
can share
up.
screen if you want me to,
Oh,
even.
okay. I mean, that works with me, but um
Whenever
let
you're
me
ready. We
see.
don't have to do it right now. I
Yeah.
was just letting you know.
We will watch that. Yes. I will take you up on
Mhm.
that. Um yeah, so my main thing too is I have a ton of screenshots as well. So other than the articles, I have a few screenshots and a few videos regarding Rachel's case. Right, tiniest squish. And I think that's the thing too is she said, I don't get the feeling it's him. It's probably an X, hopefully not an SK. Right. So how old are the kids? Can I stay alone? I don't know. So I was looking, I've kind of scoured through social media for Rachel's pages. She technically has 2 Facebook pages. One of them's an older page that she hasn't been on since like 2018. That page has more pictures of like her kids and stuff like that. So I've seen a girl who looks to be like 8 or 9-ish, like older kid. Um,
Mhm.
but she has 5. So I don't know what all that entails. If the girl that I saw was in the middle, if she was the oldest, if she was the youngest, I don't know. But she was only what, 37, I believe. So, um, yeah. So it says the body of Marilyn mom of 5, Rachel Morin, was discovered by one of her close friends, and it immediately seemed clear that she'd been murdered, the pal's dad said. Now, actually, as I say that, she is found, but there was some talk about how they knew it was a murder right away. And people were saying, which if I can figure out which screenshot is which, um, the 911 calls were originally not the 911 call, but like the scanner
Mhm.
was on, and they were saying that it was head trauma. That it was clear that she had died of head trauma. So let me grab, I gotta once again figure out whichever one it is. Oh, there we go. Let me grab the photo quick. What's this one? Hang on. Sorry, I swallowed my spit wrong and then my eyes started to water. And that's the last thing I need on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, back. Hey, Debbie. How are you? Hey, cutie pie. All right. So this is a screenshot from one of the Facebook groups. But you guys can clearly see that it talks about the 911 call and such. The 911 call was trauma to the head, but the additional details cannot be released to the public at this time. It was a trauma to the head according to the 911 call, and this was all within the Facebook groups. So, yeah.
Does she
Uh,
does she fought for her life? That's
mhm.
devastating to but
Right.
I don't know.
It yeah.
I
Right.
mean, because
So,
that tells you that there's probably a lot of a big scene, a big crime
right.
scene.
Right. Um
I was trying to look
oh,
and see if anybody had uploaded the scanner audio yet because that's what they're
mhm.
referring to. It's not the 911 call, but the
Right.
scanner.
Yeah. Saying like 911 caller states they saw this, this, and this, or whatever, but on the scanner to the police. It says Michael G. Said he and his daughter had joined other volunteers in looking for the missing 37-year-old mom. When they found her remains in a drain of the Mon Pa Heritage Trail in Bel Air on Sunday afternoon. I kept telling them to search the tunnels because I had a feeling about those tunnels, he told WMAR2. I walked forward to search the one tunnel and they searched the other one, and that's where they found her. He said of his daughter and another friend, the condition of Morin's remains suggested that she had been murdered. Michael G. added, without elaborating on exactly why. He said he was glad to bring her home so she could find a final resting place. So that's him. Him and his daughter had found her body. And for her family, that door can finally be closed and they can get the investigation on and hopefully catch the person that did this, he said. I hope they prosecute the perpetrator to the fullest extent of the law. Morin, 37, was last seen headed out on the Ma and Pa Trail around 6 p.m. on Saturday. So here's another picture of her. She was reported missing by her boyfriend at 11:30 p.m. Even before the mummified remains were officially identified by the coroner, police said they were confident Morin was the victim of foul play. This is not an accidental death or an incident where she took her own life. This is foul play on the part of another, Hartford County Sheriff Jeff Miller said. So I also like this article because it gives a little bit of context in the areas of things. His daughter found the body. I believe his daughter is older or something. I'm not quite sure. But they were out there looking for it. Right. Yeah, Leo, exactly. I hope too that they got DNA on the attacker. Yeah, PB&J, I agree with you 100%. And I
I'm
think
curious to
too,
know if she did this often. Like, was she a person who would frequently go after dinner or whenever to go
right,
hike on this trail and traveled there? Because then that opens up the possibility of, exes or other people
someone
of
knowing her
interest. I'm also
routine. Yeah,
right, knowing her routine and that this is what she does. I
right,
just don't see how if he was with the children, the boyfriend, how he would have done this with 5 kids with him.
right.
It just doesn't seem feasible. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not without the children seeing something. It's not like it happened in the middle of the night. This
Right.
happened in possibly in daylight.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there was some other stuff going on in the Facebook groups too. So Pointer Lover said she was a regular hiker on that trail. Okay, so that answers a few questions. But there was a few people who had asked, like, what time did it get dark around there on like this during this time of the year? And that they had stated that it was not till like 8 or 9 p.m. So she would still have, if she went out at 6, quite a few hours of daylight.
Right.
Um,
She
but
just
so
said that
somebody,
the boyfriend says they were already there and that he took her home at 4:30. So why'd she go back then? What I'm curious, were they fighting? Was there some type of incident? And I'm also curious, who does the family suspect? Because regardless
right,
of the boyfriend's past, they're going to know what her relationship was like with him, what her relationship was like with like with other people and all of those things. And so I'm curious who the family is like side eyeing right now.
Well, right. And the thing is, too, that we've been able to kind of figure out more recently is that her and her boyfriend that everyone's is talking about had only officially become Facebook official on August 1st. So technically, it had only been a handful of days, since they had become Facebook official. Now, they had supposedly been together for a few weeks because she had, I think her last Facebook post was regarding him, and it was like, we've taken so many pictures over the last few weeks, but these are a few of my favorites. And then she posted pictures of the two of them. So
I wonder
I
if they
think
had a contentious relationship then where they were like on again, off again, and she had just added him back in, or if
I
they were
don't
just
think
friends
so.
leading up to it.
I
Okay.
think it was that because it hasn't been stated anywhere that it was something like that. Now, I do know that based on going through like her older Facebook, which hang on, I have a screenshot of as well. Um 2018, I have this that was on her older Facebook page. And this was in 2018. So March 31st, 2018, this was there. So it was an article, actually a educational journal, and it says you can get PTSD from staying in an emotionally abusive relationship. And then she put, yep, dot dot dot. So at this point in time, this is with someone completely different. This is 2018. Um, but it is interesting to know that a previous relationship did have something along those lines. Um, which I found very interesting. So I'm not exactly sure. I know that not all of her kids have the same father. I don't know how many or with how many. Um, oh, there you go, T. She has at least 3 baby daddies. Okay. Um, but I just know that this was one of the things that when I was kind of scrolling through her old Facebook, so not her current Facebook, but her old Facebook, um, that it did uh kind of catch my eye as something. Does that catch your eye at all, or is it something that you think it's just reading into it? Sweet mom. Oh, oh, oh. I see you muting and unmuting.
My
Did
headset
yours?
died, so I'm like
Oh,
switching stuff over. I am so
oh, you're
sorry.
good. You're good. Hey, Shay. Good to see you. Yes, guys, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you are not. Trying to get these cases and stuff out there. So, all right. So she's trying to move everything over. So before I continue, are you here already, Debbie? Okay. Hopefully she'll be back when she switches back over. How about for us people who can't find their glasses, you read it out loud? I did. It says you can get PTSD from staying in an emotionally abusive relationship. And she had posted that article and then put, yep, dot, dot, dot. What'd I say about what, Abby? Okay. Okay. Are you back?
Yes, sorry. My headset died. I was like, "Dang it." Couldn't
No,
get it
you're
to,
good.
like, reconnect to you. Okay.
So, what do you think? Do you think this is just something that I'm reading too much into, or do you think it could be interesting?
So, I think that it shows you that in the past, she has for sure been in like, abusive relationships, um, but it also shows that she has the knowledge about why she should leave them,
Yeah.
and so I don't think that she's just gonna sit there and be abused, hopefully. right?
Yeah. Well, especially with having 5 kids, I think when you bring kids into a situation like that, I think it can change a lot when it comes to what you personally are willing to put up with, if it's gonna cause an issue for your kids as well.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, that's my son's dad. I was in an abusive relationship with him, and I stayed for 2 years, and then I had my son, and, I left. I was like, "I'm not gonna let him grow up in this environment." And so I left whenever he was 1.
right. Okay, let me see.
Kids just make you think about stuff way different.
Right. Oh, you're good. No problem. All right. So, I have a few more screenshots. Like I said, this was one that is on her current Facebook. Um, and I just found it to be more chilling that I just kind of wanted to bring up. So, if you guys look at the header of her Facebook, it kind of gave me the heebie jeebies as I was reading through it because it says, risk can be dangerous, but routine can be deadly. Comfort has killed more dreams than daring ever did. And so, I think, oh, thanks, Shay. It's getting there. I think it's one of those things where if it does turn out to just be something random where someone was able to follow her routines, it'll be even crazier to have that as the header. But I think too, it's just me looking into things. I mean, like, oh, that feels funny.
Right.
Hey,
And
Cutie
she
G.
looks very, very health conscious, right?
Great.
And, like,
Mm-hmm.
proud of her body and proud of her routines. Every picture that you see is her in these, situations where it looks like she was working out or going to work
Right.
out or whatever. And so it
Right.
wouldn't shock me really if she worked out earlier that day and then went to go work out again.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Or like who goes to the gym in the morning but then tries to do something active at night, like a hike or something along those lines.
Mhm.
Linda H said, it's very hard to leave those relationships. Easier said than done. Just my opinion. Absolutely. And the craziest thing, too, is not only is it hard to do, it's the most dangerous time to leave a relationship like that is when you're leaving. Um, so
I
it's
feel like
definitely,
10 days in though, or however many days it was, it'd be so easy to drop it quick. But then again, did she leave her kids with him? Because would I leave my kids with somebody that I was only with for 10 days or however many days?
right.
I don't know. Or 5 days, I don't even think it was 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't know where her kids were, right? For sure.
Correct. It is just, I think it was him, her boyfriend at the time, has stated, I think, like, I was with her kids at her house, or they're with me right now, or something along those lines, where he was with them after she had gone missing. I just don't know if it was the day she went missing or if it was like after the fact,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Um oh, that's what I was gonna do is Betty Joe.
She had
Betty
5
Joe said,
kids, right?
does he?
Um, no, Rachel. She had 5 kids?
5, yep.
Yeah, that's gotta be so hard for them. That's awful.
Not only that too, but her sister, Rachel's no, her brother and sister-in-law had lost their 1-year-old to SIDS the week before.
Oh my god.
So the whole family was already, I think it was Thursday is what I had seen was like the baby's celebration of life, and then Saturday is when she goes missing.
Oh, that's freaking devastating. So this
Mhm.
family's getting rocked twice right in a row.
Mhm. Betty Joe says, "Hi Mallory, just want to let you know I go for my surgery tomorrow morning." Betty Joe, that makes me so happy. I'm gonna be praying for you. Please, please, please come and let me know how you are doing afterwards. We'll be thinking about you, I promise. We always think about you, but we'll be thinking and sending our wishes to you. Um, Let us see. Bye, Debbie. Have a good day. Oh, Teresa, I was gonna say to criminality, Teresa, if you're listening, I just got a notification on my phone while we were live that that girl that you were covering got released. Um, Hang on, let me find my Twitter. What was her name? Lindsay Shiver was released on $100,000 bond in the Bahamas. I didn't know much about the case, but I knew you were talking about it the other day. Yeah. I don't know much about the case, but I just thought, okay, back to the task at hand.
I'm
Um,
like, I don't know that one at all.
I
I
don't know
missed
that one
that.
at all either, but I had popped in and out when Teresa was doing after Teresa did her
Oh, that's the
fantastic
Hitman one. Yes,
premiere.
I do know that one. Okay.
Yeah,
These people are
Teresa
idiots.
did
I don't
her
know why in a million years you would think that a website to hire a hitman would be legit. Like, well, all them.
right. Well, so Teresa did a fantastic premiere on her channel on criminality about Suzanne Morphew. It was incredible. You are so talented, Teresa. I would tell you that every single time I talk to you, but you are. So please go check out her premiere, guys. And then after that, she did a live, and it ended up going into that thing about Lindsay. So let us. Okay. Oh, I got to reshare because I had turned it
That
off.
makes sense because I think that was on my birthday, and that's why I was, like,
Yes.
in and out of that chat.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So it says the Harford County Sheriff's Office said that as of Tuesday morning, it had received almost 90 tips. No suspects have been publicly named as of Wednesday morning. Morin's boyfriend, Richard Tobin, 27, on Monday denied being involved in her death. I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let the family and I grieve. Yes, I have a past, but I also have 15 months clean and have changed as a person. Please, he wrote under a recent Facebook update. This is one of the pictures that she just recently had posted on that very last one. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Good to see you. Hey, Annie. I haven't
I'm
seen
just gonna
anything.
say this right now, he kinda looks like Brian Laundrie.
See, and everyone in Allie's chat was saying he looked like Chris Watts.
Ugh, he looks like Brian Laundrie to me.
Yeah, he
I
kind of
mean,
looks like a
a
mix.
little bit like not so much like Chris Watts, though.
He does look.
I
He
see the
does look
Chris
like
Watts, but not as much.
but yeah, but I. He's Brian Watts. Well, we don't know that for sure, Heather. He could just be himself until we find anything else out. So it says on Tuesday, Councilwoman Jessica Boyle Sottles rallied dozens of people from the tight knit community to walk the train. Is that supposed to say trail? Walk the trail in honor of Morin's life. Such a heinous act, and it shouldn't go unnoticed. We need to come out in numbers. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe we'll get some tips and we can help out with this investigation, she told the outlet. If you were on the Ma and Pa Trail on Saturday and kneeled the trail or trailheads and took photos or video, we are asking if you would please share them with investigators, the office asked on social media. Oh, hi, Tiffany. Thank you. So once again, here's the sign here. Closed dusk to dawn. So it comes here. It says Morin's death comes at an already trying time for the family. A little over a week after the beloved mom disappeared. A little over a week after the beloved mom disappeared, her 4-month-old niece Lily Beth Morin died of SIDS. It's been a week since my niece Lily Beth passed away from SIDS, and I find that I have to make yet another GoFundMe to help my mother, Patty Morin, with funeral costs. Morin's sister Rebecca Morin wrote on the family's GoFundMe page. Hey, Chris Melcher, welcome in. Morin did not have life insurance, her sister said. So
Oh, man. It's just so much. It's so much grief for one family so quickly.
I know.
Yeah, T, I'm not sold that he did it. I mean, despite
Mm-mm.
his appearance and like looking at his photo, just maybe it was the way that they were sitting there. I feel like Brian and Gabby had photos like that sometimes. But I'm not sold that he did it either until I see something more. I mean, in a 5-day relationship, what motivation would he have to do this? What was the
Right.
thought process behind, "I'm gonna kill her and
Well,
do all the things."
not only that, but the one thing that has stuck in my mind is the fact that she had updated her relationship status within a week of all of this occurring. And so it makes me wonder if that was some type of trigger for someone that set off some type of jealousy or rage, whether it be someone she knew in her past or
Or
anything
somebody
like
who
that.
liked her.
Right.
Jealous.
Someone that followed her routines, or maybe they met her on the trail just because they had the same routine. I mean, there's so many options, but the fact that this happens a week after, and if the police really think that the boyfriend has nothing to do with it, I think that that could be a very significant red flag in looking for someone who her changing her relationship status could have actually affected. Not
And I'm sure
that it
they're
should
digging
have,
into
but
all her social media and her phones, and I mean, heck, it coulda even been a coworker, you know?
yeah,
I've had guys before, like, where every time I've been single, they have been, like, stayed steady interested in me since, like, high school, you know what I mean? And every time that I would, like, update to single, they're, like, on it. Like,
yeah,
"Hey, with mom, what you doing?" But it's like, I feel like, maybe you're right. I mean, it could have been something like that where somebody just got insanely jealous and angry. Maybe she was leading somebody on to think that there could have been a possibility of a relationship.
right.
I'm not completely sold that it was this guy. I don't think it's fair to assign the guilt to him with absolutely no evidence other than a relationship status.
Well, and not only that, but it brings me back to what was it? I can see her face in my head. The one with the baby, where the friend was the one that actually killed her, but the internet just went crazy for the husband. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
Someone help me with a name in chat. Yeah, the Heidi
not sure.
Broussard case. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Allie.
Mhm.
Um, because he literally just got demolished online with people being like, "Oh my god, when he said this, they did this," and when he said it, he wasn't smiling. So this, and that, and it went
It's
crazy.
amazing how many body analysis people we
Yeah,
have that freaking
professionals
everybody's
online.
an
Like,
expert.
I know.
You're leaning into your hand right now is telling me, X, Y, and Z about you,
Right.
Mallory.
I know. But it's it's one of those things that ever since that case, it's something that I'm very aware of, that I want to make sure that I don't become biased just because a lot of the times um it's not necessarily the case. Yes, it is the case a lot of the times, but just because it happens in other cases doesn't mean that it's true in every case. So that's why I've kind of been on that same road of, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh my god, this is suspicious. This is suspicious. He totally did this or he did that," because I just don't think that's fair. And just because of someone's past doesn't mean you know what they'll do in the future. So I don't think it's something that he should be, you know, persecuted on. Now, if it comes out that he was seen in the area during this time or this, or that, that's a whole different story. But at this very point, there's nothing that points to it being him.
I was
Um,
gonna ask you, how far from the house was it? I know you pulled up the map the other day, but how far from the house to the trail?
from which house? So technically, he was living, I think, in a halfway house. I don't know that for sure, but his was only 3 blocks from where her car was parked. But then we have to think of, okay, he had stated that they were both there together earlier in the day and that he had brought her home, but then
Why
at
would
some
he
point,
admit to being there? He
well,
put
so
himself at the crime scene.
at some point though, she ends up bringing her own car back because her car is found at the trailhead.
Right.
And there's multiple people on Facebook who have written like, "Oh, I saw her there. I saw her there, but it looked like she was leaving." And someone else said, "Oh, I saw her there at 6:45, and I thought she was walking into the trail." And someone's like, "Well, I also saw her at 6:45, and she was leaving the trail." And so there are a lot of people who saw her there alone after the fact, like after that time frame. So that's kind of like
So my
supposedly.
question is, um, So, okay, so somebody you mentioned his daughter earlier. Sorry, that I'm asking so many questions because I know you don't maybe
Daughter.
know all the answers, but um, you said that he was with his daughter whenever he found her. Was
The
he with
guy
his
who
daughter?
found
Like,
her,
was she present the day before? Do we know?
so he did not find her. It was just
Oh,
this
okay.
that guy Michael G, who said that he had known her and um okay, Tiffany. Maybe. Um but that he had known her and that his daughter had known her.
Okay.
So and that they were just part of this volunteer group that had gone out to search on the trail that day because they had
Mhm.
known her. So I don't know exactly. I mean, that guy could have a 13-year-old daughter. He could have a 25-year-old daughter. I don't know. I mean, he looks young, but you never know.
Gotcha.
Um,
Tiffany
but
said rumors of OnlyFans, and I'm gonna say rumors heavily because we don't know,
yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you it would not shock me because
Mhm.
not that I know anything about her, but I'm gonna tell you whenever I was doing taxes last year with my cousin, the people that we did for OnlyFans, the one girl had started just months prior and made $80,000. And so, I mean, it's not a bad business to get into if you have the physique for it. But that could also foster a jealous situation of somebody getting angry that
Yeah.
she entered into a relationship.
Parasocial relationships online are significant. Um, so if you guys aren't aware, parasocial relationships are just when um okay, Tia, thank you. Where is it? Right, T? Teresa, maybe we can do a joint one. What was I saying? I forgot now.
Sorry, my husband totally walked in.
I don't remember what I was saying. Does anyone remember what I was saying?
Mm, nope, I got nothing.
Um, I know, right?
You heard there's OnlyFans.
Okay. So, all right. So Tia Dash said, Mal, I have a video from the spot. Was there today and talked to police and sheriff. 10 detectives are working on it. Threat to the public, FYI. Okay. So, in other words, with it being a threat to the public, it is saying more along the lines. Oh, thank you, Angela Luster. That it's probably more of a random thing or so on. I was talking about parasocial relationships. That's what I was talking about. Is where there's someone that presents themselves online, whether that be kind of how we're doing or on OnlyFans, and they're posting content, and or there's a lot that happens with family vlogging and stuff like that where the viewers believe that like they get closer to you than what they actually think, and to the point where it becomes like a thing. So one person that I watch a lot for child exploitation is the Dad Challenge podcast. Josh is incredible. He's not everyone's taste when it comes to humor, but I think he's hilarious, and I've talked to him a handful of times. He's a good guy. Um, but a lot of the times, the parasocial relationships will come out within the family vlogging and stuff like that, where people are like, "Hey, you've showed me your kid for the last 8 months that they've been born. Why did you stop showing them? Those are my kids. Like, I want to see that kid." And they have a feeling of like obligation that because you've shown yourself and you've shown aspects of your life that they're now entitled to that, or that they think that you're actual friends in real life, to the point where it's like, hey, I'm going to walk up to you in the store and talk about it. And it's like, yeah, you can walk up to someone, but don't act like you know who they are. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, Mallory, hi, I'd be like, hi. But I also talk to you guys a lot more versus everything. So,
I think it's the difference too in the relationships. Like, are you only talking to this person? Like, say I was in your chat as Sleuth Mom and we never spoke outside of your chat, and I
right,
recognize you from now your face is on here.
right,
If I start coming to your Walmart in hopes of seeing you,
right.
there might be a line that's crossed, right? If she was doing some type of videos, and I'm not saying she is, but if she was posting that she hiked at this trail often and was going
Yeah,
there, Is it possible that somebody formed a deep emotional connection with her and then they saying, "What? You got a boyfriend now?" Is it
Yeah.
possible that they know she goes there and could have been waiting for her? I
Well,
mean,
and then
I
you
I
also
still think it probably an emotional connection to her in some way, shape, or form. I'm just not completely sold on I'm not completely sold on it being the current boyfriend.
right. And Jordan, yeah, Jordan, she could have just been an influencer in any way. I mean, um, but I think it's one of those things where it's like when you're talking to a camera and someone on the other side of the camera, unless they say like, "Hey, sleuth mom," or like, "Hey, Laurel," you know what I mean? Where I'm like saying hi to someone specifically. It's when someone's talking in generalizations, and then someone's like, "Oh, they're saying that right to me. They want me to meet them there. They want me to come say hi to them." Like it's something that they think that like, oh, she said, oh, maybe I'll run into someone one day, or if you guys run into me, come say hi. And they're like, oh, she's talking to me. And
Who's that YouTuber who was killed recently by the guy who was stalking her? Her and her boyfriend were both killed.
I did see that. I don't remember the name. I remember there was a young girl who was on TikTok. Um her name was Ava Marjorie, I think, something along those lines. And her dad ended up killing someone that came to their house. And he was just like, "But you said you wanted to like meet me," like something along those lines. And the dad was just like, "No, she's like 14." And the guy was just having these parasocial relationships, you know? And it's crazy though, and I think too it's a little different with like what we do because we do interact with you guys. We do talk to you outside of YouTube versus just like putting a camera up. Yeah,
At
that's
the
the
same
reality.
time, though, text me before you come because, otherwise you
Right.
show up on my door, Imma be like, no.
Well,
Do
there's only
not
a
come to my
yeah,
house. Do not
there's
come
only
to
a
my
handful
grocery
of
store
people.
or my church because I will probably sit here and be like, "Okay, guys, Heather Brett just crossed the line."
Right.
I'm
Well,
just
and
kidding.
that's the thing too is I think it's different too when you have kids because you have to be a lot more careful. But, like there's only a handful of people that could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop over at your house," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like Abby for one with the boys, if they showed up, I know someone's gonna either throw up or poop on me. So whatever I look like or my house looks like, I don't care. Um, or like my family or something like that, where there's like other people where I'm like, please just text me and let me know if you're gonna come over or something like that because I don't want it to just be everywhere. But
Like, I don't
okay,
wear
Tia.
pants, guys, so I ain't answering the door for anyone.
Yeah, right. Tia, do you how far from the entrance, like the entrance where her car was parked, was her body found? Was it a far off into the trail or was it something where it was sort of close? Yeah, Stacy C exactly. Side note, Mal, did you hear about Lil Tay? I did. Did you see that it was Lil Tay and her brother both died? And they announced it together, and it was right after supposedly they talked out about the abuse that they were experiencing at home. Which one, Nora's grandma? Um, so half a mile. So that's not too far. Sleuth mom, Heather's mad that you used her in your example. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go through this because this article I found talks a little bit more about Rachel as a person. So it says the medical examiner confirms that the body found along the trail was Rachel Morin, mother of five. There's another picture of her. It says the body found near a Bel Air nature trail Sunday has been positively identified as Rachel Morin, the Hartford County Sheriff's Office said Tuesday. Sheriff's deputies had been working around the assumption that the body was that of the 37-year-old mother of five, who went missing after going for a walk on the Mampa Heritage Trail Saturday. The sheriff's office pleaded Tuesday for people who were on or near the trail that day to share photos or videos. Just checking chat. Yeah. Okay, Delana. Right. There could be something helpful in one of your photos that might bring us one more piece of the puzzle, the sheriff's office stated on social media, noting that the office had received 90 tips so far about Morin, whose body was discovered in the wooded area near the trail Sunday. Morin was a good mother to her 5 children and a spiritual person, said friend Becca Dill. Rachel Morin was a fighter, working hard to raise her children as a single mom, Dill said. She was looking for someone to love her in her raw form. Morin ran a house cleaning business and loved to listen to music, read, dance, and exercise in her free time, Dill said. She found strength in her faith and often recited scripture on days she felt defeated or abandoned by the world, Dill said, adding they had been friends for about 5 years. Oh, interesting. Okay, Tia. Let's see. You do? Tiffany, you look at your own doorbell cam. I do too. I wave at it, but that's mostly because my mom also gets the notifications. So, hey Mo. Lil Tay was a 14-year-old girl who was a rapper. I think she got famous on TikTok or something along the lines. Yeah, Alex, her brother supposedly too. Right. We found out that her body was discovered on Sunday afternoon near a section of the trail, a wooded path that meanders through Bel Air, and Harford County Sheriff's Jeffrey Gaylor on Monday. Deputies were investigating her death as a homicide. Yeah, Laurel. We don't have one solid suspect in the case, Gaylor said in an interview. While the sheriff advised residents to be cautious and pay attention to their surroundings, he stressed that he did not think there was a threat to the broader Bel Air community. So, based on that, is that something potentially that has changed, Tia? Do you know that? Or is it something where it's just like it's still a threat to the community because no one knows yet? I'm just not quite sure. All right.
Sorry. We had a bike accident, and so the kiddos are crying. That's
Oh,
why I'm like muted for so long. They
fine.
crashed.
Is everyone okay?
She's fine. She scraped her knee. You know, the world is ending.
Yeah. Sounds about right. All right. So either way, based on the scanner calls, which, like we said, I'm surprised they're not out yet. But they said that it was head trauma. I haven't really heard anything other than that. There's no suspects. There is something where I think there needs to be still something to the public saying that there is still someone out there doing this, regardless of any potential suspects. But let me see here. Trying to see if I had any other ones saved up here. Oh yeah, did you want to share your screen and we can watch that thing quick before I put the what's it called up? Well, damn, that was fast. All right. Hang on, I gotta share you. Let me stop sharing mine. If it wants to stop. Okay. I'm gonna add yours. All right.
Hi, this is
There we
Harford
go.
County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor. It's been 4 days since Rachel Morin went missing and 3 days since her body was located, the victim of a violent homicide. As your sheriff, I wanted to update all of you on where the investigation stands and what we are doing to keep our citizens safe. Currently, there are 10 investigators assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division who have been and will continue to work around the clock on this investigation. These detectives, along with forensic investigators and crime analysts, have been scouring every detail of the days, hours, minutes, and seconds before Rachel died in order to put together the pieces of a comprehensive timeline. Our Harford County community, as usual, has been amazing. And again, I knew you would be. It's what makes me the most proud when our citizens step up and work together in times of need. Through you, our Facebook page and reach has gone over 2 million people. You have brought forth more than 100 tips, and they are still pouring in. Some of your tips have been promising and tremendous in advancing the investigation and bringing us closer to getting the answers that we need, the answers that Rachel's family needs, and the answers that our community needs. Each tip helps bring the picture into focus, so I ask you to keep sending them in. Even if it's something you think is insignificant, that might be the key piece of evidence or information we are looking for. I also know many of you are nervous to spend time on the trail, concerned that there might be someone in our midst preying on women. Please know that as your sheriff, but also as a husband and father of 2 daughters, I understand your fears. If you went out to the trail today, you will see a heavy presence of deputies patrolling by foot, by bike, and by all-terrain vehicle. To enhance our efforts, just yesterday morning, the Harford County Sheriff's Foundation dropped off a check for $20,000 to support the purchase of a second off-road utility vehicle. This will fill an immediate need to have an off-road utility vehicle at each end of the trail, and these proactive patrols will continue into the future in an effort to keep everyone safe who utilizes our hiking trails. I understand many of you want answers, and we do too. What I can tell you for sure is this was an intentional taking of a person's life. Please know we are holding details close to help ensure a suspect is brought to justice. There will be a time when I can share more, and when we can, I promise to answer as many of your questions as I can. It's a delicate balance to help the public stay informed, but it cannot be at the expense of a quality investigation. One question we have continued to get centers around whether we have interviewed the boyfriend in this case. The answer is yes, we have, along with many other people who are close to Rachel. That is the way an investigation is conducted. We start with people who are in her close inner circle and others who have may known her or she have encountered and work outward. Please be safe to take care of each other. Watch out for each other. Together, we will solve this crime and find the heinous coward who took Rachel Morin from her family and friends.
I'm going to tell you, that doesn't sound to me like there's no threat to the public. I mean, they just said that they have troopers there. They have the ATV that they're getting out. That sounds like to me that they're looking for somebody or evidence or something still. And you're muted before you try to talk.
I knew I was muted. I didn't know I was muted, but yeah, I'd say that goes more along the lines of that's his way of trying to say that there's still a threat out there without scaring people. So he's not going to come out and say there's no threat like Idaho did when there is a potential threat out there, but he's trying to ensure people that there's more out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, like they're still looking for somebody and he's making that clear.
Right. And that they're still out there. And I think too, the importance when it comes to the photos and the videos as well is that if you're trying to take scenic pictures on a trail of some kind, the likelihood of there being someone in the background is so high because even when I'm on just a walk in like my neighborhood and we have like more isolated trails and stuff, there's so like there's always someone in the photo. And so it could be someone that claimed that they were never there. Dexter says hi. Yes, stay vigilant. Exactly, Tia. Exactly. Which is crazy that the other articles and stuff are stating that they said differently, because everything that I've seen him say, like verbatim, like verbally out loud, is that everyone does need to stay vigilant. He never has once said that there's no threat to the public.
Right. They're not saying targeted in this scenario. They're not
Mhm.
saying that she was the targeted victim.
No.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah, right, Heather? It's crazy. Well, and I wonder too if uh-uh. Not no, I don't think so. They have turtle races here, but not bullfrogs. Okay. Let us see. So, in other words, if you guys know anyone in the area, I think Tia said that she was down there and talking to people today. Make sure to go watch Tia Dash on Decipher, because she seems to have the actual in-person information, which is good. I know Alex Erickson was covering this. There's been a handful of other people who have covered this very thoroughly. And just because we had talked about it on the stream Monday during the day, I just wanted to kind of bring it back up because it is kind of hitting the news stations now. A lot of people are talking about it, covering it. But I think it's just important to, once again, get her story out there. There's still a threat to the public in this case. So if you're in the area, Bel Air, Maryland, in that area around the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail, just make sure that you're staying vigilant. Okay, awesome, Tia. That'd be great. I think you can reach out to me on Facebook and we can talk there. Thank you, Norse Grandma. Oh, I just saw your message in the back chat. So I'm gonna grab the GoFundMe. So Rachel's family has, hey, Destiny. Oh, absolutely. And I'll continue to. And like I said, I am one of the types of creators that I encourage all creators to cover cases, although I think it's good that creators cover different cases. I also think that when it comes to a case like this, we all can reach different people in different avenues, and we all have, even though we have shared communities, we also have separate communities, and that even if one person has the ability to show this to someone who hasn't seen it, it's important. So,
Agreed
anyone,
completely. We all
yeah,
have different people who come to just our audience,
right.
and then
That
there's all the
one
shared.
person could make a difference. And
Mhm.
so when it comes to sharing information, I'm always open. Everyone, please reach out to me. But also go follow the other creators as well that are covering this, because it's important to continually have that the flow of information out there. Not only that, accurate information, and from creators that are doing it for the right reasons. So I'm gonna do that, and then let me grab the. So this is the GoFundMe for Rachel's children for her funeral memorial fund. They have upped their goal. Have fun, Thistle. Don't get hurt. um, was he okay? Dang. All right. So this is the GoFundMe that Rachel's family has put together. They have stated that it's going to go towards the funeral costs and the celebration of life costs, and then whatever is left over is going to go towards her 5 children. So they have upped it. The goal is now 65,000. They are currently at $39,912. Her sister Rebecca is the one who has set the fundraiser up. So we'll just read through a few of these quick before we end it out. I also do have this linked in the description box, as well as all of the articles that I've read through today. They're all in the description box. I know Sleuth Mom's link is also in the description box, so please go follow Sleuth Mom. I know probably most of you, if not all of you, already do. But I love Sleuth Mom. And yeah, okay, so it says this was created 3 days ago. And it says it is with devastating sadness and a broken heart that our family has been hit with yet another heartbreak. My sister, Rachel Morin, was missing on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, around 6 p.m. In less than 24 hours, her body was found by local law enforcement. I have made a GoFundMe to help my mother, Patty Morin, with funeral costs. There is no life insurance in place. This was not an accidental death, and she did not go willingly, and she deserves a funeral worthy of her beauty. If there are any remaining funds, they will go towards things her 5 children may need. Please share, donate, comment, and keep this going. Once we have made the arrangements, I will update with service dates and times. If you wish to donate directly, please message me on Facebook. Yeah, can someone drop Tia's link in chat as well, please? Thank you. We have a few updates. So it says here, August 7th, I raised the goal as we would like to do a large celebration of life for Rachel. We had no idea the amount of people she touched, even in just her everyday life. We want all of those who loved her to grieve with us and celebrate her life. We would also like to raise enough to get a headstone that is fitting for her, and we did not take into account the fees. We appreciate all of those who have shared, donated, and thoughtful words. Thank you. We also have this on August 7th. So it says, Rachel Morin, I love you and I miss you so much. I know you are up there with our boys who have gone up before us. In a way, I'm so jealous that you get to see them again first and angry that you left me here without you. Save a place for me. And clicking on this, I think Alex clicked on it earlier. It's a video that says that's called Save a Place for Me. It is a music video, I believe. And that's written by her sister once again. We also have, my mother and I would like to thank everyone who has donated, shared, prayed, and given us such kind words of support. At this time, we have not received an update on the investigation, and I'm asking again to please, anyone who has information, no matter how big or small, to please call the Harford County Sheriff's Office at, they have the phone number redacted, but it is out there, so that we will have all the information to get justice for my sister, her children, her mother, and all of her siblings. Thank you. As well as another photo here. And so, yeah, please, if you guys feel the want or need to help Rachel's family, her children, the link is in the description box below to the GoFundMe. And yeah, so
funerals are way more expensive than people realize, especially with the cost of stone and everything else you're talking about. It has all gone up by thousands and thousands of dollars since 2020, since COVID. And
yeah, I want to say now too, like the average cost of a funeral is like almost 10 grand.
Right. And then you got to keep in mind 5 kids, guys, 5 kids that is going to be helped with this as well. And so, I mean, 40,000, that's not even a year's salary for low income.
No. So it's crazy. Yeah, I don't even know. So, and like I said, in a lot of these articles, she was technically a single mom. She didn't have any life insurance. So I think then we also have to take into account, was she getting any type of, something from the fathers of these? Was she getting any type of child support or anything like that? Or is it literally just something where her family's going to be taking over the financial burden of everything, and have that play into account? But yeah, so I wanted to obviously do this live. It was more of a last minute live. And it was I was literally like, Sleuth Mom, do you want to come up with me? And she was like, absolutely. And I'm like, awesome. Because it is a lot easier to converse with someone, especially when we're doing updates, but also because I love to pick Sleuth Mom's mind. So if you guys are not subscribed, please go subscribe to Sleuth Mom. She's fantastic. All the other creators in chat, if my mods would drop their links. I know you kind of have throughout the entire live, but I appreciate it. Make sure to keep updated on everyone that's covering this case, covering all the cases. Once again, coming to my channel here, it should not stop you from going anywhere else. All the creators that create in the true crime area that are doing it for the right reasons deserve to have their videos watched, to be able to get the stories of the victims out there and the victims' families. And I think it's really important to have that sense of community in the true crime, because if we can't come together to do these types of things, then it's not worth it. So please, please, please stay kind to everyone, support everyone that you want to. And yeah, do you have any last departing words, Sleuth Mom?
No, that's it. Thank you so much, Mallory, for having me on. And Heather Brat, I love you even though I smashed your spider.
Oh, she still
Have a
needs
good
the
day,
spider.
everyone.
She still needs the spider. The spider is what keeps me going. But all right, well, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be back on Friday with my content live, where it's the entire layout of everything. But I haven't decided quite yet what it's going to be on. But I will be planning it out. So I will see you guys Friday night usually. But yeah, so everyone stay kind, say a prayer for those in need. And also Hawaii, if you guys are in Hawaii, say a prayer for Hawaii. I know, is it Maui or Maui's on fire?
Maui.
Right?
Yeah, Maui's just like burning.
So I've seen a lot of TikToks of people on boats and stuff where it's just like everywhere. And yeah, so just be kind, everyone, and I will see you guys later. Thank you again, Sleuth Mom, for coming. Thank you, everyone in chat, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.